guys, a very warm welcome to Motorhoming Adventures.
Motorhoming Adventures.
Absolutely, this is our new channel, and the old one being...
It was offshore and onshore adventures, but here we're going to bring you all things motorhoming, the UK, Europe, further afield, who knows.
Absolutely, and we'll also be bringing across some of our original films that are on our old channel, or motorhoming films of course, and we'll be bringing them onto this channel so you don't miss out.
Absolutely, yeah. So stay tuned. All things motorhoming, technical, trips, travels, you name it. It's great to have you along.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you enjoy the channel, please do subscribe.
Oh, of course. Please do subscribe. And of course, the odd like is good too.
Thank you. In this film, we're going to be doing a detailed walkthrough of our Mobilvetta K-Yacht 79 2021 model. And so we'll be taking you around the outside, looking in all the nooks and crannies, and indeed having a thorough look inside as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Give you a good look round. If you've got any questions, of course, as always, about this particular model, then feel free to add them to the comments below, and we will definitely get to all of your questions. But join us and let's have a look around the van. Okay guys, so we got this last September time 2021, so it's sitting on a Fiat Ducato base, hence spot the cunning hint as to what it is. It's a K-Yacht 79 Tekno Line. Mobilvetta are the makers of everything that sits on the chassis, the Fiat chassis. So under the bonnet it's a 2.3 litre, it's a Euro 6, so hence we've got round here your not only a diesel filler but also of course your AdBlue in the side there, Euro 6, which is obviously handy from an emission zone point of view, because at the moment Euro 6s still avoid a lot of the congestion charges and the low emission zone costs, so try and look for a Euro 6 if you can. Okay, so overall length of it is, Nikki?
It's 7.4 metres.
7.44 metres, yes. A fair old long thing. And the width wise, you can see here these mirrors. What widths have we got, Raz?
It's 2.74.
2.7 with them out, is that?
Yes, with them out.
Yeah, and you can see by this hinging bit here, this mirror comes right out, which would offset the mirror sort of out here somewhere. We obviously travel with them in fairly close for obvious reasons, particularly down near side and hedgerows and God knows what. But these mirror units are very expensive to replace, so I'd recommend running with them in. What about with them folded right in? What have we got?
Folded right in, it's 2.3.
2.3, yeah, so quite a bit, about 400mm difference, which if there's a hedge or a branch, that could make all the difference. There's two sort of main differences with the Fiat base that these sit on. One is that your total weight would be 3650, and this particular one is an upgrade option, which means that we have a 4.4 ton maximum limit. Again, if you haven't seen it already, have a look at our payload film, which talks a lot more detail about the weights of the vehicle and how that weight is distributed and why we chose this particular 4.4 ton vehicle. Suffice to say, that's a really important, some really important decisions for you to make there. So make sure you have a good look at that and check out that film. Height wise, you can see obviously with an aerial on there, it gives us an overall, Nikki, 2.89, yes. We haven't yet added anything to the roof. The roof, I'll show you in a minute, does have a single solar panel up there, and we have added a Fiamma awning, but we'll spot that as we go round. So a fair bit of storage, as a lot of the motorhomes you'll have no doubt seen have. These are all these standard twist locks all the way around the vehicle. That just once they're in, they're turned, push it home and that locks it. This clips in on the side there, and you can see straight away that I've got lots of bits and bobs in here, and you can also see that the storage itself goes quite a way back there and is accessible from within the vehicle as well, through a little hatch in the floor. So I keep here a lot of the water stuff, electrics, hose pipes, long and short, and a few other bits and bobs. And you can just see here as well, while we've got this open, that's one of the heating tubes that runs all the way around the vehicle that provides the central heating for the van. So that's the first locker. Second one, obviously, straightforwardly, the gas locker. This has got at the moment 2 6-kilo gas bottles in. It will, I'm pretty sure it will take up to an 11k gas bottle. I'm toying with the idea at the moment of swapping over to Gaslow, particularly as in Europe it's quite difficult to replace one for one these, and Gaslow refillable is accessible in a lot of European countries. So I'm just having a start to have a look at that option. I've got incidentally a Truma gas level monitor on the bottom. It's a magnetic thing that sticks to the bottom of the tank. I've got one of those running, and also if you have a look at our Truma iNet film, you'll see how that works and how it allows you on your phone to very easily see what or how much gas you've got left. There's your standard mains inlet for your hookup, electric hookup. As I say, we carry 2 different lengths, one short 10-meter one and another sort of 25-meter one, which caters for most options. A lift up hatch here, again lockable, and again it clips in just there. And there's your toilet cassette, very easy to get out. It's just to lift up that, slide the whole thing out, and then obviously emptied through that.
What I like about that is you can wheel it like a suitcase. You can
Yes.
pretend you're going to the airport with it as you go to the
Definitely it is. It's very cabin luggage sized, and if you actually got it mistakenly mixed up with your cabin luggage and took that on the aeroplane, you may be in trouble, particularly as you were lifting it above your head to get it in the overhead locker. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's that. This is an outdoor shower. It's got an attachment that came with the van, which we'll show you in a minute, and it is just simple bayonet start, in turn, and you can see there it feeds on the hot and or cold water that's within the van, which is fab if you're coming off the beach, as we hopefully will be very soon. Yes, very soon. Next to it, of course, freshwater in, again lockable, and we've got a little adapter that allows you, back there, I can show you that a bit later, we've got an adapter that you can take this cap off and then fit it, which allows then a hose just to clip onto that. 120 litres of fresh water can go in the tank there. That's the one side entrance to the garage itself.
The other side if you like. As you go through that way.
And
Or you can open that side.
And there we are, opened up, a few little bits and bobs left in here. Hello.
Fancy meeting you here.
Yeah. So huge garage on this. That's what another thing which took us to this vehicle. It was an ability for this, which is the bed inside, which you'll see in a minute, to move up and down to this sort of level here. It comes with the electronic switch here, and it's also got, while we're in the back of the garage here, 3-pin socket here as well, another outlet there for the heater. You've then got these little storage areas both sides there, which go back a good sort of more than half an arm's length, a fair way back there, where I keep the bike chargers and other stuff like that. They've got the lashing points here, which are simply by unscrewing, allows you to adjust those to wherever you've got your load. And you can see we've got a fair bit stowed in here already. Camping table there, and little step ladder, some other ladders to get up on the roof of the van if we need to, some leveling ramps, and of course The barbecue, yes. Don't go anywhere in Spain or France without a barbecue. On the outside of the van as well, we'll come back to the garage in a minute for those other bits we've missed. On the outside as well though, which goes with the orange hose that was in the garage, you've got here an outside barbecue point. So that orange hose in the garage there, I got about a 3 meter length of it, which allows us to get well clear of that, because we don't particularly want to have the barbecue running next to this. So that's outdoor barbecue. That's your outlet for the central heating for the Truma boiler. It's a Truma Combi 6E boiler, which we'll have a look at in a sec. And finally, another external 3-pin point, TV aerial, satellite connection as well. So full on, if you wanted, or if you had some sort of outdoor way of watching telly, or indeed a satellite dish, a portable satellite dish that fitted to the outside of the van rather than up on the roof, then that's your point where you can fit it. You've got your two fridge vents, top and bottom, and you can probably just hear we're running on gas at the moment, so it does sometimes gurgle and rumble. In fact, there you go, just heard it cut in. A little sort of spring-loaded cubby hole, this, a good one for shoes. Doesn't go back a huge distance, but nonetheless gives you a bit more storage. Some bungee stuff in there. And then this one is your external way into the habitation batteries. You'll see as well that the van came as standard with a single one. I've since added this one as a second hab battery, identical to the first one. And if you have a look on our channels, also a film about that, and a few bits of information about adding that second battery. And obviously here, while we're here and while we're in this bit, a lot of the main fuses here for the habitation part of the vehicle. Obviously there's a lot of further switches, or fuses I should say, 2 sets in fact, for the Fiat and for the chassis and the engine itself, which are up towards the front of the vehicle, as you can imagine. If you look on, if you check out that film about adding the second hab battery though, you'll see that some of the main isolation and the fuses are here, and I cover a bit of that in that film.
And in the dark, that's quite handy, isn't it?
Yeah,
the outside lights gives you a lot of light outside, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was actually really surprising. So it's a full strip of LEDs there, which, when it's dust dark, does throw a hell of a lot of light out. Now, when we actually bought the thing, it had a middle one, and then an end bracket ready for the a Fiamma awning, or indeed it could be Thule, I guess, or indeed any other type of awning that fits those brackets. Obviously, we did and have done a separate film on us thinking about and buying and choosing the length of it. This is a 4.25 meter one, so do have a look at the channel if you're interested in that awning, and check out that film of me getting that fitted up onto the roof there to the brackets that were supplied by Mobilvetta, or by Marquis Motorhomes, who we got it from. Not sure who actually adds those. And there's also another film on our channel as well about the awning actually out and unwinding it and getting it set up. So if it's awnings you're after, check those out.
And we also have the fittings ready for a cycle rack.
Yeah.
Although we've chosen to put our bicycles inside, we just find it easier. But there is that option as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and on the rear as well, you've also got the rear camera. You can just see it under there.
See it, that little black bit useful under there.
It doesn't go too far back, but it gives you enough vision to park really well. Yes,
it's literally looking down, looking straight down. You can see all along the back bumper here, and you can see sort of out, I don't know, a couple of meters behind the van. I've seen a number of fellow Mobilvetta owners, indeed other motorhome owners, who have added either changed the camera up there using the existing wiring for, say, a dual lens one that looks straight down and one that looks out to the back, or others that have just got a much bigger camera mounted up higher, and that gives you that bit more view. But I found from the key reversing issue, I found that having the one that obviously looks straight down at the back bumper and gives you a couple of meters out the back here is perfectly good enough for physically for reversing.
And of course, on the roof we've got a solar panel. We have the aerial for the TV.
Yeah.
Unless I give Bob a huge leg up, we can't show you that at the moment.
Yeah. Well, come on. Surely a piggyback, perhaps. Right, in fact what we'll do is I'll grab the step ladders out of the garage and we can show you very quickly up on that roof, because that's another project in the making, which is to try and add now that we've added the second hab battery, is to add another solar panel to the roof. So that is the outside, and all the little nooks and crannies. And let's first of all finish off in the garage. We'll then show you up on the roof, and then have a look round at the inside of it and the setup on the inside. So this was this is obviously the Truma Combi 6E boiler. You can see there all those beige coloured pipes. Those are all the central heating ducting that disappears off round the van. The other good thing about this, which we liked about the design of this, was that obviously it's got a second floor in effect, so that really helps its insulation. So you've got the floor you wander around on inside, then a void underneath, and then obviously an additional floor. So that space under the floor is where a lot of the electrics, the pipes and all that are routed, but it also gives that extra insulation. The bits you're looking at here, obviously, that's the raising and lowering mechanism that allows the bed to go up and down. And when we've got some of these bits and bobs out, I can just show you how that works. And you can see through there, so you can see there's the inside of the van just through there. So a good airflow through it. And that we're looking at there, that's the underside of the main bed that's in the habitation area up above. The other bits and bobs that they put as standard in the back, they put these racks in, not our fantastic sock hanger. Woo! Yeah, so the sock hanger is not supplied because that's obviously way too expensive, and but they do supply these two sort of bits with I suppose like luggage type straps, two on this side, two on that side, which just give you that little bit, which is actually quite useful for the barbecue extension bit, for the shower thing, which I'll come around and show you. Yeah, just there. So that's the shower bit I was talking about. And you see there from the fitting on there, that just clips in there like that and turns like that.
Should I?
No,
okay.
No. No.
I won't.
And that's
I never tried it.
yeah, go for it. Try it. Yeah, look at that.
Hey.
Yes.
Wow.
Hang on, let's see if we can get some hot water. Okay, so you can see there, obviously that's the handle to turn it, but a tiny little white dot on there, that's obviously towards the hot, towards the cold. So let's, as we've had the water on an hour or two, let's see if that's working all right. Is it? Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, warm shower.
Warm
outside.
Showers after the beach.
Do you want one now? You sure?
No,
okay.
No, I'll pass on that. But yes, you can see that particularly coming off an April beach in Tenby in Wales, then a warm shower would be very nice. I suspect though, coming off a beach in Spain, you might want the other setting, which will be cold, after we've been in that bath that is the Mediterranean. Okay, so that works good. Always good when a plan comes together. Right, and while we just clear out these bits and bobs from the garage, these I've added since we bought it, just a bit of marine type glue and a couple of 6mm self tappers to hold them in. So I've put sort of 3, 4, I've put about 8. I've put a couple over here for specific items. Those in fact for our paddles for a little inflatable kayak we carry. So they're dead easy to fit. As I say, 6mm self tappers, bit of Sikaflex marine glue, and that job's a good one. Then slid down the back here, down the back of our ramps and the chairs and all the barbecue and all that sort of stuff. We've got the wind up handle for the awning, and this thing here, because we're over 4 meters the awning, then we have a central rafter that if you want to see, as I say, how that all went together, then check out our other film on the Fiamma awning. You can see as well they've got this sort of ledge along here which I felt was actually pretty handy, in terms of that's our pop-up camping table, collapsible ladder there, and it just gives you a good chance to stow stuff against the back wall there. Obviously, if you want the bed in its furthest down position, then we'll take this out in a sec. But of course, a lot of this, if we're on site, would be out anyway, so you can see the extent of the how far the bed comes down at the base of these channels. And so once this table's out, then we'll be able to lower the bed.
And if you're in the dark ferreting around in your garage, then we have a light here which is great, and you can remove it from the side and it stretches a short distance, but if you were wanting to get some more light on something specific, then you have that as well.
Yeah, good little light.
Pretty useful. Put that back in there, I'll switch it off for the moment.
Lovely. Right, these incidentally, these are sliding doors which allow you to sort of shut off that area of the heater, of the Truma boiler completely. You'll see though from another film on our channel about the Combi 6E, when we had a fault with that particular unit, and the diagnosis of the fault was potentially, it wasn't definitely, but it was potentially overheating. So I didn't see a problem with actually leaving these sliding doors open. We don't have anything there which would interfere with it. We put, as you've seen probably from our other films, we put our 2 bicycles there, which don't interfere with the innards, or I make sure that they don't interfere at all with the heater. So it just keeps that airflow going past the Combi 6E. But so we don't know for definite that was a cause of it. We've certainly not had a problem since, but check out that film as well about the boiler and you'll see more about the fault there. Okay, that's the boiler, that's the inside. And finally, as promised, so if we hit the this little up and down button here, you can now see the bed coming down here, and it goes down to this, so what is in effect this bit here. So
you can leave it down and we can show you in its down position.
Yeah, absolutely. But then again, it's just to press the button and back up it goes. So it's as simple as that. It runs off or there's an aux switch on the control panel which has to be on for you to be able to operate the bed, and in fact if we're on the move, then I obviously make sure a lot of the time that aux switch is off, so nothing could accidentally cause the bed to lower down, particularly when we've got all those bits and bobs that you saw in the back, because that's the last thing you want, is the bed trying to come down on top of it all. So that's the back. There's the other rail there with similar lashing points, which are all very useful for my myriad of bungees that I've got in here. And that's the garage. Fantastic size. Standard sort of doors there that just ease the closing a bit, but they're not that tight. So if it's windy, definitely be careful in the wind, otherwise it will be whacking you on the backside and throwing you into the garage. Okay, that's the garage. So tyres on the Mobilvetta, because this is the 4.4 ton version, they are 225 by 75 R16s, and fitted from new were these Michelin Agila, they are AGILA, or Agilis, sorry, I should say, AGILIS. Michelin Agilis camping tyre for these. As I say, 79.8 psi, which we definitely keep an eye on, because obviously it's carrying a fair bit of weight there, so you want these to do exactly the job they're supposed to do. And a quick look underneath. These pipes here, these are the outlets for the Truma boiler, because we're just underneath the sort of edge of the garage here. That's for they're used if you wanted to drain the boiler down, or indeed if it drops below -4 degrees, then 4 degrees I should say, not -4. If it drops below 4 degrees, then there's a frost protection system on the Truma combi boiler, which therefore says, oh, it's getting cold here, I don't want the water to freeze in my pipes, and it drops the water out automatically. Caused many a moho owner consternation when they can't work out why the heating isn't working or where all the water's gone. But check out our other film on that, on the Truma boiler, when we had that fault, and I also explain a bit more about that issue on that film. That's that. And then just a bit further forward, so yes, just about there, I think you just see it. That's the that's obviously some of the grey and freshwater outlets, which we'll see more, or I'll show you more from the inside of the van. But that's where it comes out. So it's just in front of the rear axle is where your grey water in particular comes out. That's where obviously if they've got a grey water dropout point on site and the big grills that you drive over, then you just got to get your rear axle just about over the over those vents, and away goes your grey water. Incidentally as well, while we're under here, and I mentioned it on our weighbridge film, but there is space here, and there are bolt holes pre-drilled and ready for carriage of a spare wheel. At the moment we've only got that funny foam stuff, which probably wouldn't be much good. And yes, unsurprisingly, there's another film about when we had a puncture and had to get recovered not that long ago, which was a bit of a pain. But so I'm still thinking about whether I try and fit a you know, another tyre full wheel to the underside here. A number of friends on the Motorhome sites, on the Mobilvetta site, have done similar with their Mobilvettas, so it is doable if you wanted to carry a full spare. One of the other few things I've done is the original Fiat washers were at the front here and were next to useless, and some amazing technician on the Mobilvetta owners site on Facebook has also got a passion for 3D printing, and he actually made these and this hose and this kit, which allowed us to take out the Fiat standard part and fit his washers, which have got triple outlets on there, and they come along the windscreen wipers themselves. There's the second one. Was a really good modification. He supplies all of these parts and complete instructions as to how to take your Fiat ones off and fit these. Very smartly done, customized Mobilvetta ones. So yeah, really useful little addition that, because as I say, the Fiat ones were chocolate fireguard type quality. So the main habitation door itself, also on the central locking system. When you're in the motorhome, you can just press that in, and that obviously locks the habitation door. It's got its own integral blind that goes all the way up there for some privacy blinds. It's got on the door here a little bin, which also has weirdly built in, don't know whether I'd ever use it in my life, but it's got it's like a little built-in dustpan and brush thingy in the lid.
Tell the truth,
of
I've been
the
dying to use that.
well it took me, I think you need a degree to work out how to get it off the lid, but yes, in fact I'll have to look for an occasion. It'll have to be a very special occasion, where we use the Motorhome dustpan and brush. But anyway, we digress. You can see the steps up in. There's no steps that drop out or anything electronically, just steps up in the van itself. And if we just give you a view as you come into it like that, got your main central bed behind the wash basin area there. Panning round there, you can see that small kitchen area, which we'll show you in a sec. Back to the lovely Nikki.
And this is the dining area, and I'm just moving my hand like that for no particular reason, but other than to demonstrate the table. And above us is the front bed.
Yes,
again, another double bed, which we'll demonstrate in a little while.
Yeah, fantastic.
We walk through.
Yes, because to enable the upper bed to come down, then these two seats have to be in their folded forward position, which then allows this bit to drop down, which indeed we'll show you in a sec. Okay, so the bulkhead seat up here as well, that's the alternative access into where those batteries are. So you can see another little hatch with a gazillion warning labels on there, and down in there, and there you've got the two habitation batteries, fuse box. So that's it. That's the other way in there.
And I've just added a Velcro put your shoes in bag type thing there. It's quite handy for your Crocs, your flip flops, and that just sits nicely there when I put the seat back.
Definitely.
There we go.
Up on the wall there, you can see they've got sort of, it's like a fabric, like a sort of suede finish. It's got some little handy sort of envelopey pocket things there. And then just behind the bed, you've got obviously what's the main control panel for the vehicle. You can see there that along the top there, you've got the settings button on the top right there, which allows you to set various tones and connections that the van has. You've got your vehicle battery, you've got your habitation battery levels, you've got your fresh water levels. There's only one of these two works because we've only got one grey water tank. So as this one goes down, generally the percentage of that one goes up. And then that's the auxiliary that I mentioned earlier that allows you to use the bed and one or two other bits in the van, like the toilet system, flush and stuff like that. So that needs to be on for that to work. Water pump, that's the outside light that Nikki was talking about earlier, and that controls all the internal switches. So if you've got chargers or anything plugged into the van inside, then that needs to be on for some of those charging points to work. This is the Truma control, which controls, if you touch the button there, which controls the van itself in terms of all those heating functions. There is a separate film on our channel that I did on some of the functionality of this, and particularly, as it says there, iNet Ready is connecting this whole unit to the mobile phone, so that you use your mobile phone instead of this. Really awkwardly, as you'll see if you watch that film that I did, you have to take this whole panel off to be able to get at the place where you put the SIM card for the iNet system, and or has got the Bluetooth button that you need to press to enable you to link your phone to it. But they've hidden it behind there, but it's not too difficult to get that off. Check out that film we've done, and that will show you how to do it and how to set up your phone to run your Truma Plus system. Just as a point of interest, since we got the van last September, we've done, as you can see there, 3,872 miles. I set one of the trips running not that long after we got it. The trip there, so you see there, the actual trip A that's running has got 3,125 on it, 3,125 miles. And so that 2.3 Fiat diesel engine, Euro 6, over that 3,100 miles, we're getting 27.1, which is pretty good, I think, considering that we're probably most of the time running at 3.6, 3.7 ton, and sometimes over, as you saw from our other Weybridge film. So that's pretty good, 27.1 mpg over 3,100 miles. But I'll keep you updated on that as we go. Obviously we've got a couple of trips abroad this year, so that's going to put probably another 4,000 or 5,000 miles on. So it'd be interesting to see at the end of that whether we've improved or got worse with carrying those loads around. Anyway, that's a quick diversion. Let's have a look at the inside, a bit more of the inside of the van. Okay, so apart from the MPG, you can see straight away this one is the auto version. adds all of about another 20 kilos to the overall weight apparently. It's got different drive modes as well on the auto box itself, with an eco and a normal modes. It's a 9-speed, and it's also, by moving the shift across, you've also got an ability to manually shift up and down through the gears. It's a fairly standard, so I won't go through all the detail of the dashboard in this film, because this is more about the accommodation and the Mobilvetta as a motorhome, but it's a pretty standard, as you'd expect, Fiat dashboard, of which the only bit I don't particularly like is this Xent, which I'd never actually heard of. It's an X427 Xent sat-nav system, and I've seen a fair few comments about people who don't think it's the best bit of kit in the world, but it works. The alternative, of course, they have one of these things on the top here where you just get hold of this bit, just pull it upwards, there's no clips, and then there's a little release thing at the side here that if you pop that open, this therefore takes a phone, an iPad, whatever. So if you've got any other device, of course, for sat-naving, then it easily fits there and sits on this, which is very handy. You can see we've obviously added down the front there a little dash cam, which then I've run the wiring back through here and into the cigarette lighter rather than putting it up the top of the screen there. The other little bits and bobs, fair few cubbies around for your bits and pieces here. Obviously glove box in the same place. Another little cubby on top there, which has got some connections as well for the radio if you want to do updates by SD card. That's your mic for the hands-free phone system, hands-free mic. That's nothing, it's just a sort of blank panel, that is, which put there, but I could see if you're perhaps running a separate sat-nav, that might be a possible place for that. And then of course up here, as you'd expect, is you've got your blind systems both sides, where these come down here at the sides, and just little magnetic strips here that fit there, and then they push back up like that, and they just clip into this little bit here. Quite firm to do. On the window, front window, got here a sliding one there, which obviously gives you your blackout option. And then up at the top here, a couple of things to show you. One is from you pull from the middle, that's your sun visor, so it's a full width sun visor, and then over here on this side a little pull cord that, as and when you want it up, just pull it and it retracts itself automatically. But of course what it's also got, if you've not got a thermal screen on the outside, what it's also got is this, so you just squeeze those catches together and then down comes the blind, all the way down there like that, so it gives you a complete coverage there. And then over where Nikki's sitting over that side, an identical blind that pops out from there. That pops out and comes across all the way across to the magnetic strip just here. Handy little tip actually, whilst I'm sitting in the front, we've made this card. It just reminds us of our height in meters and feet and inches, and the same with the width, length and weight. It's just a handy reference should we forget. Yes, don't want to forget about how big you are. Dora the sheep is of course very interested in what's happening. Yes. She's been an avid supporter of our films and is a subscriber to our channel, so if Dora the sheep can subscribe, then you most certainly can if you haven't done already. And some more cubby holes, so handy little cubby hole in there. Oh, travel sweets, you've got to have your travel sweets. Yes, definitely. And some tissues. And in here we keep lots of our documents. And, really good size this. Quite deep as well. It's got the bags that Marquis provide with all your handbooks and everything. Very handy that. And then there's again much more storage under here for your bits and bobs, and a shelf here. Then you've got your two cup holders here as well, and they're quite deep. You can fit other stuff underneath, which we have done. So that's really handy as well. Down there, just at the back of the seat there, apart from where I keep all my miscellaneous charging cables, you can see the solar controller, that little box there with the blue front to it. That's the solar controller that looks after the single solar panel on the roof. And then also down here, this switch here, that's the underfloor heating switch. So if you're on electric hookup only, then you can pop that on and it gives you a very nice toasty floor all the way throughout the habitation area here. And that's obviously a reflection of the fact that we've got those two levels of floor, as I mentioned earlier. One, so a void in effect, which allows them to of course add the heating units to the floor itself. So the chairs, as you'd imagine with any moho, the chairs swivel with this catch here, so you merely just slide that catch back and it allows the chair to swivel. The only slight thing I find with these is to get it past, or to get it easily to pass the steering wheel, it's best to loosen off the steering wheel. The steering wheel lifts up and down, so I put the steering wheel right down, and then as you spin round, you can put that arm down, and I actually at the same time slide the seat forward a bit, and then it goes past. Then you can slide the seat back and you're in a very nice turned round position. The table has, down at the bottom while my right foot's down there, I can show you, the table has a little button down here which, when I put my foot down on it, it allows us to move the table both to the left and right and forward and back. So you've got a fair few positions that you can get that table into that suit who you've got or how many you've got sat round it. So we've just gone under the table now because I wanted to show you this piece here. This is actually part of the seating that lifts up here, and in the garage at home I've got, you can see it locks into place with those brackets there. On this sits another cushion and it gives you an L shape, basically, seating area. We've taken that one out, there's just the two of us that are travelling, so we've taken that cushion out and I've got it stored in the garage, and it just gives you, particularly when recently we had some passengers on board, it means that the passengers, which I'll show you in a sec, have the ability then to sit on this seat here facing forward, using the seat belts that enable 4 people to be carried in this belted. And these little catches here, it's just a matter of lifting those catches and then it will fold back down again. And there we go. Oops, there we go. Let's just grab those up. There we go. That's done the catches again, so that lowers down, and we're ready to go. There you can see the table up and near the side cushion there, but if we press that button and I'll bring the table towards me, you can see there that it's got a fair bit of gap now. You can actually get it up to this side cushion, up to this side seat as well. So if you wanted to seat a number of people around this, it would be relatively straightforward, because you could have your extra cushion on there and seat there. That would fit a couple here, probably at least another one there, and then obviously you've got the 2 front seats that spin round, so you could actually entertain a fair few around this table if you so wanted. And finally there, as well as going backwards and forwards and back, it also rotates as well, so you can basically set up the table to however you want to use it, to best use it as you move around the van. And there you can see that area with the from above with the bit drop down there, so otherwise that would be an L-shaped seat there, which, as I say, we've got the cushion for, but we've left it in the garage. Because most recently we had a couple of passengers, and the 2 passengers actually sit in these seats here, and this middle headrest is velcroed on, and you can see there the mechanisms for the seat belts, which until you need them are stowed away under the bolster cushion here, So you simply take these cushions out, thread the seat belts around the other side, and there you've got your extra 2 belted passengers ready to go. Carpeting obviously was an option throughout. We went for that option, got Marquis to fit it, but none of it's actually glued or stuck down. It's all liftable, so hence easy to clean. We've added these off Amazon, sort of some extra little rugs which are nice. And then underneath, under the carpeting, we have the first of a number of those storage areas that I mentioned when we were outside. So if you can take that off. Nicky's very important. What is that, Nicky?
It's a mobile Hoover.
Hi! It's a very important Moho Hoover. You can see there though that the storage area would allow you not only to store a little Hoover, but of course we're also thinking that when we're away, things like non-perishable foods, stuff like that, would be quite good for under there. Cans, pastas, rices, you name it. It'd be quite a good extra food storage space. Okay, so as you get into the van, you got that's a nice touch. They've got this rail lights at night. You've got switches here, which the first one of which is like a rocker switch, and that switches on all of these LED lights,
Strip lights,
which you can just see in this. And they are, if I press and hold the button, you can see it just faded out there, and if I press and hold it, it actually dims or brightens those strip lights. So that's that switch. And the other one there, that just controls these lights up here behind our fabulous bunting that we got on our trip to Cheddar, which we stuck up there with a little bit of super glue, but it gives it a nice little touch, doesn't it? Do you like that little touch?
I do.
Yes.
And our other bunting up there.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, hiya.
Oh, frightening.
And yes, some more strategically placed bunting in the van with a touch of super glue. So yes, that was a nice addition there. So just as the sun is setting, thought we'd quickly show you that lighting in the evening. So obviously when you first unlock, you get courtesy lights coming on inside, and then you remember we talked earlier about some of the different lighting in the van. So let's give you a flavour of that. There you've got the that's the LED strips, so they're around the top there, down the units here, and then as I say, with this press and holding on that, you see you can get the dimmed effect and just release when you've got the desired effect, and then back up again. So that's those. And then you've also got up on the panel there, just to the right of the panel, you've got the blue effect around the top here. So let's just put those main ones on again. That's those. You can see that little detail there in the handle, which is nicely done, and a little light there on the hook. If we switch those off, that's the courtesy light just going off, and then we've got the second switch to the right there that controls these lights across here, all little LEDs, so they're nice and bright, show up well. And then let's just pop those back on, and then around the kitchen area that you saw earlier but probably didn't see the full effect from, you got the two switches over here that they give that additional lighting there. And finally we've got these two lights to the to each side of the sink unit. That gives you a bit more. That's the white effect one, and you can run it together with the blue around the mirror there. So really effectively lit up. Done a good job with those LEDs. And then similarly the shower, that's the internal shower light as well, that you can just get a better flavour of now. And then through to the bedroom here. that's with all the various lighting on. So the recessed lighting up there, got the blue strips across. You can see the little blue pin lights up there above the TV, which are nice running in the evening. And you've also got down on the steps here, you've also got pin lights down there, fitted in nicely, and down the bottom of the bathroom unit all the way around there, plus some extra little pin lights around down by the fridge, and going around the base of some of those units you can see there. And then of course these lights up at the front here, which but obviously when the bed's down they're not so relevant. And then finally, let's just show you that outside light, how effective that is. That is run on this one here. So we'll knock that one on, and you can see the you can see that's a pretty bright old light, that one out there, which gives you ample cover, or ample light outside the van in the evening. So that's the evening effect, if you like.
So Bob's just folding the chairs down, ready to show you the bed above.
And they can be either way round, incidentally, so they don't have to be in the forward position, as long as they're just right down to their lowest extent. And then it is as simple, folks, as press where you press, unsurprisingly. And then if you watch the full extent of it coming down, comes down there, you can see it just misses the top of the steering wheel and that seat, and there you have it. So that's in its down position. You've got these curtains that will go across. They've also got they also supplied a sort of, it was like a bit of mesh work that went up here and clipped in, which obviously if you've got youngsters in this front berth here, then it was like a way to stop them rolling out of bed in the night. Together with, they also supply a ladder which is in the garage at home, because it's actually just as easy to step off this side seat here and climb in, as Nikki's in fact very ably demonstrating.
Right, well, you can put the kettle on, I'm going to sleep.
But I get, we're actually the wrong way around here, because I get relegated to this bed at the front because allegedly I snore. So
that is comfy though.
So it is, it's very nice. Well, it's a good sized double bed.
We put mattress toppers on these.
Oh yes, yes.
The mattresses themselves weren't too bad at all, actually.
No.
That came with the van, but since we put the mattress toppers on, actually it's really
it's
comfortable,
fantastic.
and we have a good night's sleep.
And there you go. There you can see it. So there's the mattress that they supplied. There's the sort of 7 centimetre, I think it was. I'll if any of you are interested, let me know, and I can put a link in below, which was, we got them from Amazon, and it's like a memory foam topper, so you can see there it adds quite a significant extra. It doesn't it's not an issue putting the bed up and down. You can still do that despite the extra thickness. So, and
it's you know, it's a pretty good size. It is a double after all, so
yeah,
pretty comfortable for 2 people.
Yeah,
I think.
very much so. So I get relegated to this one.
Yes.
Nikki, the Queen, has the area at the back, which we'll show you in a sec. These obviously concertina up when you put the thing up and down and give you that bit of privacy all the way around. Yeah, a couple of those hooks, that might be to do with the fact we've got that extra mattress on, so yeah, there's obviously a bit of tension there. It's just popped a couple of those hooks out, but it's nothing more than that. So that's the first of the 2 double beds. So stow the curtains back in, and then it's as simple as pulling backwards, and there's obviously a mechanism on it which assists its lift, hydraulics. It's a matter of then just lining that up, getting that ready, and then I give it one final push and you can hear it click in there, and that's done. You can see there as well, got speakers built in each side, and there's a little courtesy light here as well for when the bed's in the up position. Oh, and a shout out to Nikki's woolly plant. Look at that.
It's great, isn't it?
Anybody would think it was real. It's wool. Okay, up. The windows have all got, even the small and the large, have got different blind systems on them. So you've obviously got the full blackout type blinds. But of course, coming from the other side, you've got the sort of fly screen style as well, which both of them go all the way across. Just as a point, folks, be it you have a Mobilvetta or indeed another type of van, the advice if you're in hot countries is don't have these blinds fully across when it's really sunny, because it basically creates a void of superheat up there and can cause damage to the mechanism by melting, of course, damage to some of the plastic mechanisms in here, because it can get super hot and could even present a fire risk. But these, a lot of them the same. The small windows, big windows have those blinds, but then in terms of opening, this one in particular, that's just a wind up jobby, which then lifts. And what I'll do is I'll wind it all the way up, because I can then show you on the roof without having to get on my ladder.
Oh, good thinking.
Ah, you see, cunning plan, Baldrick. There we go. Right, let's take you up on the roof and show you a bit of that there. So you can see there's that single solar panel, but obviously room here potentially for another solar panel. So now that we have that second hand battery, that's got to be a project. This is your TV aerial. I've got an app on my phone which is, I think, called Antenna Finder, which when you get to site you merely use the app, which tells you where the strongest signal is coming from and the geographic direction. And in here you've got the ability here, by loosening off this, you loosen this off like that. That allows you then to push up the aerial, and you can then just secure that in its up position. And then you'll also know, those of you who got it, that this now rotates as well. And the reason why that rotates is that some sites will tell you from that app whether your aerial should be in the horizontal position, as we've just seen it on the roof, or if I start to turn this and keep turning this black part of it, you should have, yeah, you can see the effect there. So it actually allows the aerial to become vertical in effect, because there are some satellites that transmit best to aerials that are in the vertical position, and the app handily tells you which position to have your aerial in. But obviously before you set off from site, make sure it's stowed back, check back to the horizontal, and then obviously eventually loosen that off. Down comes the aerial, because having talked about heights earlier, we don't want to be an extra 250 mil when going under a bridge. Okay, so back over the other side. There's two TVs in the van. They've both got this sort of concertina type bracket system, which is a push away or push towards you in effect, which then releases it to allow it to slide out. And then it also has, if you put the lever then down, it allows this to rotate or to pull out sideways, so you can see it there extending. Cabling there, that's my Amazon Fire Stick, together with that odds and sods. You can see obviously though, TV point there, 12 volt power, because it's a 12 volt TV it runs on, and that's another 3-point plug just here, which has got my Fire Stick plugged into it. So that's the TV, and reverse the process obviously for getting it back in position. And you can hear it just clicks back into position there. Little courtesy light there above the hook itself. So moving back to Nikki.
Yes, moving back to the galley. So two great overhead cupboards, plenty of space in there. We've used lots of this.
Yes.
What do you call it?
Sort of cushiony type matting, isn't it?
Cushiony type matting to put in between plates and things, stop things rattling.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a good size. So that's the one.
These sort of clip in as well, so you can't actually pull those open. So that keeps everything stowed when you're on the move. It needs a pull down on the handle, and that then releases them to open. So stops them popping open.
And again here, keep our plates and that's really good. That's a mug holder thing that we bought. Keeps everything in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and again, plenty of space there.
Yeah.
And then the galley itself, we've got an induction hob, 2 gas burners either side, one that's larger, one that's a little bit smaller. Yeah, all of that works extremely well. Next to the hob, we've got a bin. We use it for our recycling.
Yeah, bucket pulls out, so lifts out of there, so dead easy to empty it as well.
Yeah, and these rails are quite good. We use it, this came with the van in fact, and we use it for our kitchen roll, but also in the top cupboard here, we've got a pull-out drawer and another shelf or chopping board, or you can put it over the sink and use it as a extra space, or you can attach it into that.
Just
and
those two go apart and it just pushes into
just pushes
those.
in,
Yeah.
and so you've got that extra space up there.
Squeeze that in like that.
Like that.
There we go. Slides along.
Perfect. And really generous drawers, I think. We've got all our knives and forks in there.
Nothing like generous drawers.
I know. Saucepan lids, saucepan, bits and pieces in there.
Yeah.
And then underneath, there's a little bit more space for our various other bits, kitchen, foil, cling film, that type of thing. And this is really good. We've got a pull-out cupboard, so that's it before it's pulled out. But if you have a look underneath, you've got a shelf up there.
Those are all your cut-offs as well for all the various gas systems in here. Individual taps, part of the gas system.
Got a nice shelf up here. We've got all our bin liners, etc.
Yeah.
And if we pull out this drawer here, you can see that we keep our bottles of water in there, and they stay nice and steady in there when we're travelling along. So yeah, it's a great little space. Push that back in, clicks in, and underneath as well we've obviously got some more storage there.
Yeah.
So that's all very handy for the kitchen.
Handy indeed.
Yes. And these surfaces are really nice. They do clean very easily. So above the cookers, another storage space.
Yeah.
Little handy tip. We find this really handy. This we use as our draining board. So
Handkerchief?
yeah,
No?
we put it either on the table or we put it down next to the hob. And when we're drying things, we just put all our crockery on that, and it just soaks into it.
Bloody grand.
Dries after, so that's really handy. Cooker. Whilst we're travelling.
Oh yes, tea towel.
We use a tea towel to stop it clattering, but obviously take it out. We use the oven, but it's very efficient. Cooks things nicely.
Yeah, little light inside.
A grill and an oven.
Igniter there, as with most standard. Grill setting, oven setting. Few bits of information there. Job's good.
Yeah, excellent that one. And the freezer. There's quite a bit of space in the freezer, I have to say. We don't have anything in there at the moment apart from a pelican.
Oh, I want some pelican ice cubes.
I don't know how that got in there. Anyway, so that's the freezer space. Fridge space again is very generous. Got the 2 salad drawers or vegetable drawers down the bottom as well. The shelves are quite secure because they've got these lips here that stop things from falling off.
Yeah.
And then of course you've got these clips on here which keeps everything pretty steady as well when you're travelling. So
and most importantly,
that's for later.
Yeah, sausages and a burger because we might be having a barbecue.
It might be, yes. Okay, so yeah, that's the kitchen. Oh no, one other thing to show you the kitchen. Now this little cupboard is also very handy. So we'll pull out drawer. We haven't got much in it at the moment, just some bits and bobs.
Not day tripping.
Not for day tripping, but when we're away, we tend to fill these bits and pieces up. And actually, if you come around this way, there's some more space down here.
Yeah, forgot about those.
So we'll keep our, some more food stuff in there.
Yeah, some other little tiny cubbies. Storage everywhere.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yes, underneath.
Oh yeah, let's have a look at the. Let's have a look at those bits and bobs.
Underneath here is is our access to our grey water.
Yeah, so we saw the pipes under the van. There's the grey water one. Obviously that's in its closed position at the moment. In line with the pipe would be open. It's just a quarter turn to the sort of 12 o'clock position. Water pump itself, and then you've got two valves here which are freshwater related. The first one, if I was to open that completely now, it would drain the tank down to about sort of 20%, perhaps a little bit less. This second one here allows you to drain the fresh water completely out. So if, for example, you were leaving site and you'd been fairly heavy on water, you could drop out over the grills on the waste before you go. You could drop out, you know, up to sort of 80-90% of your water, run with a little bit for toilet or for whatever washing up as you're on the move, and that's why you've got those two different freshwater valves. Straightforward as that. And while we're here as well, while Nicky puts that one back, then another one under the floor there. Now you can see why they don't fit any carpets down. Another little cubby in there. Again, storage, you name it. I've seen a couple of very intrepid Mobilvetta travellers have got a very nice malt whisky store under their van floor. You know who you are, and there's a shout out to you. What an amazing store that is.
Good idea.
I love that. Right,
through to the bathroom.
yeah,
So fab mirror. You probably won't be able to see now, but at night it lights up. We've got lots of this blue lighting in various places.
so some more hooks up here, slidable hooks, albeit I don't think that's fantastic positioning, because obviously you're directly above some gas burners, so can't see me hanging too many tea towels there, just in case. And then up the side here, as you can see already, we've got stuff plugged in there, a 2 amp and a 1 amp USB socket. Again, lighting, lighting under the units here, 3-point pin there, and up here as well you've got an extractor for your cooking. The windows, they're all the same as well throughout the van in terms of the catch system. They've all got these press the button, turn the handle, 3, one on each side there, and then obviously that button locks again once you've got them closed. The windows as well, all the windows have the fly screen option there, or they have these where you can just get a hold of these two, squeeze them together, take it up to the top here, and it just clicks into this bit, clicks in here to this bit there, which is part of the upper catch, and to loosen them off you just squeeze those two bits together, which releases it. Squeeze them together and take your window down. So that's all the windows. All the side windows in the back have all got exactly the same blind system of twin blinds and catches.
Yeah, and the sink, this is built in, which is really good.
Yeah.
So we fill that up with our own soap.
Yeah.
Sink, very substantial.
Not glass, plastic.
Not glass, but plastic. It's very substantial, but that's great. Hot and cold water, obviously. Toothbrush holder built in, which is really handy. And then under here, well, we keep our compost bin there for the moment.
Compost.
But you know, you can put whatever you like in there.
Yeah, good storage, good storage.
Good storage space.
A straightforward cassette toilet. It rotates, so you can, preferably not perhaps whilst you're on it, but you can choose your angle, as it were. You perhaps might get a better view out the back there. So yeah, you can choose your angle. It rotates. Electric flush there, little light there, comes up red when it's full and ready to be emptied. They supply as well, they supply a little toilet brush there together with the toilet roll holder, and then also storage in above and lower cupboards. Some good sized storage, you can get plenty of bits and bobs in, ready for your travels. Slightly different window catches on these smaller ones at the back here. It's just to push the button in, and then you can see the mechanism here. You've got alternative positions for your catches, so you can therefore push it back into there for it to be partially open, or you can go all the way back and have it in the higher position there, which, as the van is now warming up significantly, it's getting to that time where they may be open a lot more. Very nice too. And then to put them back in, it's just as simple as that, pushing it beyond the clip there, and the button just re-engages there and closes it. So it's the same window there, even smaller one here, but still got two different fly screen and blinds. Tiny little window, same mechanism, which is above the shower. The shower itself, that is lit with these LEDs around the top here, little switch up here, which gives some nice lighting all the way around the edge here. The door, when you're on the move, obviously, the door obviously clips in with these, so you can loosen those straps off, and then it allows this door to fold. This one folds back out. This one then shuts, magnetic, and there you can see the shower enclosure there, shelving there for your soap and bits and bobs. You see the lighting going down the back of the shower there now, as well as the lighting at the top. Really nice, a nice shower unit, and very easy to use. This lower section here, that which we'll show you in a sec, that has a piece of wood infill, the same as the floor of the motorhome. A piece of wood that fits in there, and then, unsurprisingly, they've got a piece of carpet that fits the shape of that wooden insert. Obviously, therefore, with the wood insert and a bit of carpeting there and stuff, it actually gives you a sort of extra storage area, if you like, in there when you're on the move, perhaps. Also, handy hint there, they supply a plug as well with the sink that you've just seen, but we actually use ours in here because just almost immediately under here, under this section here, is the grey water tank. So if your grey water tank is particularly full or has even got some water in it, if you haven't got the plug in, there is a tendency obviously for that water can come back up this. Not that it causes much of an issue, but or it would if it came up in large quantities, but I know of stories where one or two has actually then it's overlapped, it's overflown this area here, and they have had water on the floor of the van. So we keep that plug in, but of course it's also another reminder to perhaps run with as little grey water as you can, just in case you get that blowback, because the tank is so close to the plug outlet in the shower there. Okay, so let's get these two pieces back in so you can see what I mean by the way it fits in. So that just sits on the floor of the shower like that, and then this piece of carpet comes in here like that. Job done. And it just gives you, as I say, that while the shower door is open, then it through this bit here, it gives you a bit more of a walkway where your actual feet can then sort of it's almost at the same level, almost identical level to the floor of the rest of the motorhome. You can see on the inside, we saw the ducts in the garage and stuff, but they've just got these little flaps here, and that's how you open and close your hot air vents for the heating system. So let's kill that little LED switch. There, that's with the doors stowed again, and the straps held on here. Stops them jangling about on the move. You've got, just pulls down from here, you've got a little towel rail where you can put your damp towels, and of course with sun coming through there like that, then what a perfect little drying spot. Okay, that's the shower. And one of the final hatches in the floor, there we go. So not only down the side there, you can see some more heating ducts. This is your 120 litre freshwater tank, So that's where it all disappears to, and you can see by how close this is to the surface or floor of the van that over here, which hasn't got a hatch, under there being the grey water, 110 odd litres possible, you can see why it's so close to the floor and the plug outlet of the shower, and that's why it's quite important to bear that in mind. If you're going to carry grey water, put the plug in at very least. But that obviously, that red allows you to, you can unscrew that and use it if you're going to do annual maintenance and give it a real good clean out, and it allows you perhaps to get the chemical additives or the tablets, the chlorine stuff that you use to wash out your freshwater tanks. We do that probably once a year. We did with the boat, and do with and intend to do with the motorhome as well. Just give them a good flush through at the beginning of the season to sort the tanks out from any lurgies. Right, through to the back of the van. So you remember that we've actually lowered the bed now down to its lowest position, but even when it's in its highest position, you're still absolutely fine in here in terms of sleeping arrangement. It's not an issue at all. Probably the only thing you can't quite do is sit up quite as well. If you're going to sit up in bed and read or whatever, then you just lose a little bit of that headspace, but it's still doable. So that's just the effect of raising and lowering this bed unit.
Yeah, so at the moment it's in its lowered position. Very comfortable again with a mattress topper on top.
Yeah,
which is great.
Topper, yeah.
So we'll start from the back, working our way to the front. So again, some great storage space. The other one's very similar.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Bits and pieces for your clothes and things like that. You've got USB point under there, so I keep my lead from a mobile phone. Again, there's a plug socket should you need it. You've got some great reading lights either side of the bed. The whole bedroom lights up with blue lighting as well. I don't know if you can see that with the strips around the edges.
Yeah, I think we can just, yeah, we can pick that up in this light, yeah.
Yeah, you can see that. I'll just switch that off again. We've also got some nice lighting either side here, which lights up the...
and then there's another one over this side there. So yeah, just another little extra light.
Nice effect. And of course you've got this overall
touch sensitive
main light, which is touch sensitive, and that does provide a lot of light. Hopefully a device never needed, but that's your carbon monoxide monitor. Again, you've got blinds on this, and again on the windows you've got blinds as well. You've got a combination of things on this one actually. You've got the sort of net effect, and plus when you pull these together the blind comes up, and you can have it any length, any height, but we'll go all the way to the top. Speakers above me, from the radio from the front of the
that's
van.
just part of the 4 main speakers from the van radio.
And these cupboards provide quite a lot of space as well. You can see you can put your coat rails, coat hangers on the top there, and those are really good for clothing, and they've got a light inside when you open them and the light goes off when you close it again, and the same the other side. I'll show you that side, but
and at the side of the bed we've got these ones. There's just out of the 2 steps here, just one of them has a lid that lifts, with the all-important games in there and TV remote, and over that side a very similar space in the upper step. As you've probably seen already, there's the second TV, 3-pin plug, albeit this one's 12 volt again, and that weird white box that you can just see up there, that's the aerial booster that boosts the signal for both TVs throughout the van.
But very comfortable and
great absolutely. Oh, and this bit, so this end and this end of the bed lifts up, and you can see there's a sort of very limited amount of storage area for sort of low shallow bits in there, a little bit of storage there as there is in this area here, and then obviously down the side here and under there you're back into the garage. But yeah, these weird sort of seatbelt looking mechanisms, that's the method by which this the motor there lifts the bed up and down.
One of the reasons we chose this van was because Bob snores really loudly and I cannot
I've
sleep.
never heard myself snoring, but allegedly I do.
Yes, you do. So, we chose to have these two doors. So when I'm asleep in the back bedroom,
The Queen in her bed.
we can shut this door and
yes.
also that door.
Yeah, I'll do this one while we're here.
And then also
That's shut, that's shut.
we can shut that as well. So when I'm actually in the bedroom, I can't hear Bob snoring at all, and it's bliss. I have a wonderful night's sleep. And also it adds privacy to the bathroom area. You can completely close off the bathroom area, which is
hence we're echoing a bit in here now.
Yeah. But in the day, it's all open, and you do feel a great sense of openness in this van, actually, with all these doors open, because you can see right through all the way, and there's a lot of light that comes through the whole of the van, which is what I love as well.
Absolutely. Yes, I mean, it's such a lovely sunny day, April day today, absolutely flooded with light. And there we go, back through to the front. So I hope, and there of course I forgot to mention that, another touch light there, bit of extra lighting, and of course the all important smoke alarm on the roof there.
Well, we hope that's been of use to you if you're considering buying a Mobilvetta or indeed another motorhome. Perhaps gives you a little bit of insight into what they're like, or you just enjoy looking at motorhome films.
Yes, absolutely. So that was the Mobilvetta. It was the K-Yacht Tekno Line 79. It's giving you a little bit of an insight into the inside and outside of it. If you've got any questions at all, of course, in the comments below, and we will and do answer all of your questions about the van. And also there's a number of other films about the van itself or other particular aspects of the van, so do check out the channel. If you haven't subscribed, of course, then do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you on board, and it's of course completely free. So until our next time.
Yes, until next time. We'll see you soon.
Thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.